I'm not going to explain all these. I'm just going to go through a couple of them that I selected here. Number 2, twice a increased by the cube of a equals b. So what does twice a actually mean? What does twice a mean? 2a. All right, so let's write down 2a. That means 2 times a. That's twice a. Now, increased by. So if you get your age and you increase it by 2, what are you doing? You take your age and adding 2 to it, right? So right here, we're increasing by, which means you're going to add. And what are you going to increase by? The cube of a. It's going to be a to the 3rd power. That's a cube. The word square implies a 2nd power. The word cube implies a 3rd power, in case you didn't know. Okay. And then at the very end, it says equals b. So that's what we're going to write. We're going to write down equals b. And we're not even asked to solve here. That's our answer. Okay, we're going to start solving the second half of class right now. Let's jump to number 3. It says 7 less than the sum. Well, let's first start out with 7. Let's first start out with 7 less than. Now, what does that mean? Let's think about this. Does it mean 7 take away something, or does it mean something take away 7? The word than implies a switch. You guys remember that? The word than implies a switch. So if I say, what's 7 less than your age? You're not going to say 7 take away your age. You're going to say your age take away 7. So 7 less than implies a minus 7 at the very end. But the question is, what goes in front right here? Well, let's take a look at what's in front. It's the sum of p and t. That's what goes in front.
What?
The sum of p and t. It's going to be p plus t. Now, if you want to have it as the sum, you better put parentheses around it, just to be sure, just to be safe. It's actually unnecessary, but it's better to put parentheses around whenever you see the word sum, because they want you to find the answer to that addition problem and then subtract 7 from it. Okay, so 7 less than, there it is, less than what? Less than the sum of p and t. And then you go for is, that means equals, as much as 6, equals 6. And that's it. Could somebody flip the paper over and make sure that they use the parentheses back there? Maybe they didn't. They did? Cool. Yeah, because the word sum implies that you're going to do that addition problem first. Okay? Moving on, let's skip around. Let's go to number 5 here that I circled. 4 times the sum of f and g is identical to 6 times g. All right, well, let's first start out with the words 4 times. That's easy. That's 4. You could put a dot if you want. Now, 4 times what? It's 4 times the sum of f and g. Open up some parentheses. Inside the parentheses, what do we put?
F plus G.
F. Whoa, that's not F. That's ridiculous. My finger went crazy right there. Okay, so 4 times the sum of f and g. The sum is add. So we have f plus g inside parentheses. And then it says is, which means equals or identical to, that also means equal, to 6 times g. 6g. You don't even, I mean, you could put the dot between it if you want, but you don't have to. You could just leave it 6g. What do you guys think? Are you going to be ready for those types of questions as the beginning part of the Quiz Friday? Excellent. Okay. Let's do, I don't know, pick one. 7 or 9? We did the odd ones. 7? Okay, it says, translate each sentence into a formula. Okay, the area A, so let's just write down A, of a square is, that means equals, A equals the length of a side 1 squared. Okay, this is really messed up. So let's do this. Just to make this a little bit nicer, let's, whatever the heck this is, it looks like a 1. Let's just replace that with the letter S, with the variable S. Okay? We're going to say that the side is the letter S. Okay? So the area A of a square is the length of a side S squared. So I hope that makes sense. What it means is if you did have a square, and let's say your side was actually 2, then the area would be 2 times 2, which would be 4. Anyway, I don't think I want to put that one on the quiz. Let's just jump to something that might be on the quiz, something like translating each equation into a sentence. So here we go. We have an equation right here, and we need to turn it into a sentence. So anybody, ideas how to start this thing? What do I write? Yes, so we're going to start 1/2 times the sum of f and y. And then you could say equals, you could say is, or is equal to, or is exactly the same as, or is identical. All those different words mean equal. I'll just put equals what? F minus 5, right? But there's other ways of saying it, and we need to know all the different ways of saying it, because I might throw that multiple choice type question at you where it has a bunch of different ways of saying it. So one way of saying this would be f minus 5. A more interesting way of saying it would be the difference of f and 5, the difference of f and 5. Or you could even say 5 less than f, because that would imply a switch, yeah? I want to go with 5 less than f. But then again, I want you guys to be fluid with this. I want you to know all the different ways of saying it. It could be f decreased by 5, f minus 5. It could be 5 less than f, right, which we used right there. Or even this front part could be said differently. Let me use the word quantity. I want to use the word quantity on that top part. So maybe we could say half or 1/2 times the quantity of f plus y. So it could be like that, 1/2 times the quantity of f plus y, and then we have the equals f minus 5. So that's yet another way of saying it. And of course, on Friday's quiz, I probably will ask you multiple ways of saying something like this equation.